ngomong dong ya.
Tuh yang nonton anime siapa lan? Gue kenceng parah ini.
Kencengan kita suara ini belum.
Nggak apa-apa, cuma kedengeran ya.
Ah, kai. Nah, pas.
Ya. Oh.
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of.
Kalau
Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm.
Bisa nongol 3 headshot.
I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming. Where the hell Garrett get you? That's when Charlie got hit.
Suaranya kegedean. Video. Tet, audio.
Catching us in a
kita
crossfire.
tonton dulu kok bisa. Wah, begitu sih.
Nggak tahu. Mungkin dari mati.
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down. It was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor. It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a Gatlin, Billy shouted. Get the horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention. I said that it was time to cut and run. He directed that order at me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do it? Those poor sons of bitches are done for! Many would have fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack,
He's joshing. Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Graves, please continue.
please call me Cyrus, ma'am. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
Gonna make you bleed! Making my way past the Castle of Fallen Pope.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up.
Drill cowboy aing. Share dulu ah.
Finally, I had the stables within my reach. And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star.
Kayaknya dia yang bisa deh.
Kayaknya biar kayak scroll di Twitter.
Enggak.
Pat Garrett.
You challenged him to a showdown.
Pause dulu bentar.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
Di situ ada suwir gak sih?
Ada.
Wir, itu loh Dahlia mau halo katanya jam 9.
Dia nggak denger. Itu nggak tadi.
Dia lagi nonton anim.
Cek aja.
Oh. Ntar, aku tanyain Dahlia dulu.
Dah, modar anjing. You are keep in 10,9. Oke.
Gitu deh.
And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful says? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables. Stepped inside,
Doang loh.
and
Bam, modar
last
deh
thing
anjing.
I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to, bastard had clocked me with his colt. And the kid surrendered? When he realized there was no getting out of there alive. So they...
Is download Pamal Parties.
Udah
It's
download.
important to know
Udah
that I
beres.
was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after.
Udah. Masih belum
Anjing yang di
install lagi.
penjara babi.
He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine.
Mending lu nonton live gua terus like
Instead,
dulu.
all I got for myself was a goddamn
Terus
death.
bantu, terus di-share.
Di share di mana?
Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move.
Di Kaskus.
He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
Ini main game apa, Cap?
Call of Juarez.
Apa itu?
Jadi cowboy.
My first
Oh,
order
yang
of
tadi.
business was
Iya.
finding a firearm.
Mana jalan keluarnya anjing?
Ini beli spesial karetnya 2 anjing.
Oh ini. Nuggets
koyak.
menu. Billy the Kid.
Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Man, esat kan. Gue suka ininya aja, grafik-grafiknya keren aja.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Anybody see Billy?
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer.
Anjing modar.
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn thing. The kids escaped raised a huge ruckus. Guards were everywhere looking for him. Can't let the kid get away.
Anybody see him?
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms. Suddenly, I was a fugitive.
Mana lagi tujuannya nih?
So that bastard you were after, what did he do? He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever going to find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there. I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past.
This town doesn't have a moment's peace.
You! But hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
You hooligans can go to hell.
Headshot.
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and color.
Headshot.
I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
children here.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
Jangan aku mana anjing.
Hai.
Headshot anjing.
Lanjut nggak?
Well, where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free.
Spek for decency?
So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town. Don't let that asshole get away with this. I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy, and all that blame would fall on him. Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down.
Bobby. Paket
He was
anjing.
already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun. Anyway, it was me or them, and the only way forward led me straight to perdition. But the cards were dealt, and I had no choice but to play them. You're dead!
How the hell did he get away?
We're gonna be in deep shit when Pat gets back.
Istrinya si Tank kan kenapa dia mirip si itu suka.
Nah, emang tiga istrinya dibikin tiga karakter itu.
Jangan spoiler dong.
Enggak, emang di itu, emang itu. Satu lagi si Zenitsu, cuman kepikiran si Tanjiro mah yang pingsan di atas. Emang lu belum?
Anjing mati sih ya bangsat.
Pokoknya nanti mau ketemu. Spoiler aja. Pokoknya akhirnya ngelawan mamanya. demon api. Tontonin lagi Saycho aja.
Mati sih bangsat. Dual di pocket apaan ya?
Saycho main game sampah anjing.
Hah?
Game naon? Terus
Seru
main
anjing.
game naon anjing.
Seru anjing ya. Call of Juarez.
Ya udah gue main game pack aja lah.
Iya lain stream pack gratis aing ori Steam. Anjing, sombong aja nih aing.
Dislike aja ya, Pak ya. Like.
Goblok.
Dislike lagi.
I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
Tapi dia Tomb Raider goblok ya kok.
Apaan?
Lol. Itunya game titelnya.
Emang iya? Emang iya Tomb Raider?
Iya.
Ubah dulu lah anjing. Lama lagi goblok.
Ototnya
Kayak cari cowgirl anjing.
ototnya keren.
Call of Juarez. Nggak ada anjing. Oh ada. Gunslinger. Mantap anjing. Save. Cowgirlnya ketemu nggak?
I guess Billy saved your ass,
Mana
taking out
gitu.
Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Well, sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob.
Halo
I said,
Bob.
I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think
Dia
so,
tahu nggak sih
boy.
Ki yang anim-anim
Not with my
adu
shotgun.
pistolnya nih cepet-cepetan.
So we stood there in the middle of the street.
Ada. Gak ada anjing.
Eyeball to eyeball.
Ada.
Ada sempet.
He intended to kill me, and
Ingat,
I
ah.
knew I had no choice but to defend
Oh,
myself.
Juarez. Lihat.
Anjing ngeliat fokus nak. Aduh, eleh ayam aing fix. Wah, goblok.
Aduh camat.
Mati
Some
anjing.
say I fought unfairly,
Dishonored.
but they weren't the ones looking him in the eye that day.
Jangan dia lebih tinggi.
Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
Gun and Roses ada nggak? Nggak ada anjing. Itu mah band.
after Lincoln? Mexico.
Siapa naik?
Halo. Iya, tahun ini
Oh, halo.
sini.
So was the
Ini
bastard
dia,
you were
Pak.
after now riding with the
Halo.
cowboys?
Roscoe
Iya.
Bob Bryant.
4632.
Hai,
Oh.
Mami.
But no, this time it was a different
Makasih udah
bastard.
dicebokin.
The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. And yes, he was
Guys,
working for
dicebok.
Old Man
Dicebokin,
Clown.
Mami.
I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which
Guys,
wasn't
bisa
surprising
dicebokin.
being they were such murderous thieves. and
Enggak,
bastards.
punya
The
dicebokin.
bandits wore red scarves,
Goblok.
so I
Enggak,
knew
enggak,
they
enggak.
worked for the old man.
Dia disibukin si Ai.
Mati anjing. 2, 3.
I did my best to help
Alah,
those poor
bangsat.
passengers.
Mati anjing.
Aduh, jangan dicatat. Diam.
Pala anjing headshot long shot.
Ini nih musiknya pinter.
Anjing. Gue jago parah sih aing jadi cowboy.
Attackers were dead,
Terus apa?
and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing.
Karena dia
Ruang
tahu kalau pakai kepala dia kalah.
None.
Iya.
It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't
Aku
hiding
udah
more
selesai
bandits.
nih.
Was that
Aku
all
lucu,
of
gak
them?
apa-apa.
Or did I just hit the
Udah ada
rear
episode baru
guard?
belum sih?
I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on
Apa?
high like Apaches.
Tayangan putus.
Kayak putus. Aduh.
Oh, anjing kena bangsat. Mati, anjing. Mati, anjing. Babi rame parah.
Kalian jago
Satu,
jadi cowboy.
jago anjing. Lihat dong.
Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere,
Mati gitu.
and there never seemed to
Oh,
be an
anjing.
end to it.
Musuhnya yang mati.
Oh,
You
kira.
attacked by Apaches? What
Iya,
happened to
jago
the
banget aing.
cowboys?
Jadi
I
cowboy.
say they were Apaches. I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my
Mati
own
satu,
against an
dua,
overwhelming enemy force.
3,
Jiput
ini?
di mana?
5 anjing.
Latihannya gitu kau
See,
satu
at the
gimana?
time, I was still
Apaan?
pretty green, but often blunder into regrettable
Ini
situations.
gamenya.
Enggak.
But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo, but I knew he was with the
Bobby.
Cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a
Gak usah
dreadful
dicakar dong tangan aing.
But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other
Ow.
assholes first.
Au. Ada.
Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo.
Ah, ini sedih, nggak mau nonton.
Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men.
Malah.
I immediately knew that a
Mana lagi
tactical
musuhnya
retreat
sini,
was
anjing.
called for, as my vengeful fury was
Yuk,
much less
makin rame,
impressive
bangsat.
without the bullets to
Alah.
back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me.
Anjing depan belakang. Babi peluru aing habis.
My survival
Bangsat.
seemed pretty slim.
Matilah aing.
Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
He's getting away!
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me.
Wah anjing.
Bullets
Ntar peluru
were
aing
whizzing
habis
by my
bangsat.
ears,
Jangan
but
dikejar-kejar.
I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang
Kelihatan
like this.
ada. Kayak Ivana.
Apa? Apa?
Stikernya ngakak banget anjing.
Santai.
Kenapa?
I just kept running.
Nggak
not
tahu
knowing where the
temennya
hell I was
Ivana.
going.
Kirain apa ya? Kayak
Tiga nyelau anjing.
And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven, I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Pat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know. And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of
4G
dynamite to go
Vestro.
along with that
Oke.
ammo. That stroke of good fortune even the odds.
Mencoy ganjir.
It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right. We get it. They were right where you wanted.
That's right.
harus gawat lagi.
I was done running.
Dia pengen dikejar.
And the old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir. I came at them like a wildcat. My fury knew no bounds.
Cukup banget kak aimnya. Keren anjing ya aim terbaik. Di pocket. Anjing.
It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Bangsat pakai senjata mesin aja.
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, "Clanton, I'm coming for you!" A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till Kingdom Come. But I knew I could not let that deter me. Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Cut dulu guys, bawah dulu guys.
Oke.
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Yah modar aing. Weh, baru kayak hidup anjing. Yeah. Babi.
Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps, and that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
Hai.
A few weeks after that dust-up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo. I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill. So,
Nah,
what
apa dah?
exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off? Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both
Kan?
deserve to
Gak
die.
dengerin apa
Lihat.
I'll tell you why.
Download Pamal
Get ready,
Party.
boys. First, I need to tell you about
Pamal
the
Party.
Cowboys' new boss.
Apa itu?
Curly Bill Brocious.
Game.
Tarai.
Kamu tadi
Curly
ngomong
Bill
apa
took
dah?
charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's
Aku
demise.
streamingin
And after
main.
that gunfight at the OK Corral,
Hah?
the Clantons wanted revenge.
Aku streamingin main.
So they murdered Morgan Earp, and
Ngeri
grievously
main.
wounded his older brother Virgil.
Aku streamin main. Iya, gue yang main game aja denger.
Cuma
Ya emang budak mah susah sih.
Wyatt and Doc went on
Anjing.
what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws.
Anjing mati.
So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
I'm ending you.
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the cowboys identified each other. And I was beginning to wish I had one myself.
You're done.
But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away
Nice
unscathed.
try.
And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Hey, mommy. Can you hear me, mommy?
Herb wasn't much of a match for him. Doc Holliday might have.
That lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Is that what you call it? Being loyal? Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Ada apanya? Ini lagi.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot.
Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Nice try. Nice try.
Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Of course. Oh my god. I found a girl here. Ah!
Mati anjing.
Kenapa?
Oh,
Ngebantu di layar, nggak tahu deh ngapain.
siapa?
Yang tikus-tikus itu loh.
Itu, ini peliharaannya si Tengen.
Main lagi ini pembunuh ini bayangan.
Tugasnya cuma bawain pedang dong.
Shot. Misal tikus berotot.
Ikut ninja. Nih guys,
Halo.
makan kan?
Oh,
Yo,
Iya,
makan.
buat
tikus dulu.
tikus. Ikut. Geser ya.
Ya aku tandain.
Nanti tuh
Santai bos. Santai bos.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide
kok
behind.
tuh bubat anjing.
Gil
Main
kayak
It
kia
really
aing
was
anjing.
one hell of a sawmill.
masih di sini
Quite an
aja.
impressive operation.
Mana senjatanya? Mana si anjing? Gila aing GG parah kia anjing. Bawahnya lewat mana anjing?
Bodoh anjing gak
Where
lihat.
was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben.
Aing sing labu handap
I'm
anjing.
painting a picture here.
Shotgun.
There was this beautiful
Nice.
waterfall,
Ah, aing
crystal
ngerti
clear
pakai
stream
shotgun.
that led to a verdant valley that was truly,
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
Ah, mati anjing jatuh ke kali. Goblok.
Bodoh.
Tolong. Terus gimana nyebrangnya anjing?
Oke.
Hah? Oh, ke sini. Nggak nyebrang anjing lah.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Ayo hanya nonton streaming saya hanya ngepikan.
Hah?
Ah,
Nonton apa sih?
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Recover. Lanjutlah. Enggak bakal. Iya. Iya, soalnya emang killer aja. Udah killer. Black Clover tuh nggak ada killer, nggak kayak Boruto aja. Killer. Makanya kekejar semangatnya.
Anjing GG parah. Mati anjing.
Crocius gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo.
Lan pamal party enggak?
In a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Ya,
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
gue senang sama perubahannya.
Lan lu mau main pamal party nggak Lan? Sekarang udah malam anjing. Take over Johnny Ringo. Dia punya anak namanya Johnny Ringo, keren sih ya.
It's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Aku turun dulu ya guys. Dadah.
Oh, bucin.
Apa? Aku tahu. Bye.
Anjing telat. Bangsat. 93,6 your hand speed. Oke.
It's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Come here. Hey. Mana sih?
Shit.
Aja kita ngelawan eta lain.
Hah?
Anjing beneran tukang somai.
Kan tukang batagor anjing kumisnya tempo.
It's incredible, sir.
Koplang parah.
I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Modar si Eko itu.
Ini cuma gandengan.
Ya anjing miss.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't
Kan lu
over.
udah baca solo leveling kan?
Doc Holliday had
Kan lu udah
nothing
baca
to do
solo
with the
leveling
death
kan?
of Johnny Ring.
Baca apa
Kan?
tadi?
Udah baca solo
I
leveling.
was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Kurt
Udah tamat cuy.
and realized there was real money to be made. That's
Iya. Tapi belum dikonfirmasi. Isekai. Enggak isekai sih, dunia asli. Hunter, adventure.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plumber looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head. Plumber rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him. My late father pointed out to me more than once.
Wah
God
anjing
made
ayak
men,
bangsat headshot.
but Samuel Colt made him equal.
You ain't beefing me.
Dari dia mah.
Come on out, you yellow bastard.
Keluar dulu.
Para. Ini emang di pause apa gimana?
Ini pause sebentar ya.
Dulu lagunya jangan di skip, pulang dari awal.
Pulang awal.
Dari awal.
Ini si awal-awal nih. Si
Ya apa yang dari
Enggak ada yang muncul mana sih?
benar tuh, mana mana.
Ya Allah. Ini juga sama.
Ini baru sampai episode 5 ya?
Iya.
Patah-patah.
Kurang enak deh.
Enak aja.
Yang intronya lumayan.
Ya iya no.
Intronya lumayan dibanding outro.
Wah anjing, ngodar aing jatuh.
Lagu anime terenak mah itu Black Catcher sama
Enggak sih.
Your Lie in April.
Hamtaro sih.
Black Ketchup.
Hamtaro banget.
Oh yoi.
Black Ketchup.
Yoi.
Siapa ngomongin
enggak jadi
Black
baru
Catcher?
kocan anjing yang enak.
Ini deh. Komisan. Enak itu lagunya.
Kita
Sekarang hati baju. Aku ini malah
pos dulu dong, bentar. PLT gitu ya?
Nen.
Nen.
Iya. Iya. Final system.
tapi udah baca sih.
Pink.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I
Semuanya
decided
akan
the
jadi
right
semakin
thing would be to return
Nah
it.
ini si Tanjiro.
It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches.
Yuk, gue mikir lagi.
There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold ships. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith.
They go, blacksmith.
James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors.
Si yang itu ya, masih tahu ya. Tapi yang belum ketemu kayak nasi ya.
Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other.
Inosuke
He
turun
set
ke
up a
bawah.
defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach.
Ke markas itu, ke markas iblisnya.
Belum lihat sih.
Kayak
Iya ih,
tipu.
udah ngirim begitu. So,
Aku lupa itu episode 4 namanya.
Dangerous, desperate individuals. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was judged, or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. one stray bullet, one stray spark, and I'd be blown to hell and gone. Did I have any second thoughts about what I was doing? No.
Itu kata. Si goreng.
Nasi goreng.
Pause dulu sebelum lupa.
Plus nasi goreng.
Di Shopee flash sale ada itu aja, ada masker Kaneki.
Ih, nggak beli orang-orang.
Aduh amat anjing.
Kali ya, kan kalian mau apa kan?
Berawak. Gue fotonya kalau pakai baju matte aja.
Made it past and headed on to meet my destiny.
Iya.
Gue pengen beli itu, gue pengen beli gimana sih?
But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine. Once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back.
Manisan.
So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal.
Ini nggak di play.
Made sense.
Kamu tadi ngomongin Kaneki.
Apaan Yung?
It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous. As there would undoubtedly be enemies along the way.
Kategoris ya?
Enggak, pernafasan si Tanjiro tidak cocok.
Ceritain lagi, diam dulu. Ya karena dia penampasan matahari. Itu dong, nabrak.
Muap, jurus air. Pakai air.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. I'm ending you.
Kirano.
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Jadi dirinya itu yang mulai keluar ya.
Nanti nggak keluar juga.
Lu jatuh buk.
I will drop you down a mine shaft.
Baru lihat deh.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked.
Bentar.
Power Ranger.
Mau gua spoilerin gak kenapa hari bisa kuat?
Ternyata benar dia bisa hilang.
Gua tahu gak kenapa?
Body has to know what he's shooting at.
Dia modar anjing.
One tiny spark.
Anjing belum mati nih, dia jatuh doang.
Tidak. Ojiro. Tiba-tiba jantungnya
As a boy,
Di
I always loved the 4th of
Kagura
July.
itu
Diam. Oh, pukul. Sumpah.
jadi kan kenapa kuat karena
Diam dong.
Iblisnya jadi Tony Hawk.
Mana sih?
balik tadi
Oh mati sih anjing.
Ulang. Ayo.
Anjir iya.
Tony Hawk.
Okay, now you're really pissing me off.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube.
Konten itu keren aja. Jika itu siapa sih gurunya yang si itu? Yang
I freely admit that my plans
Burung
are
kondisi.
not just moronic, but clearly insane.
siapa ya Aizawa
si Aizawa ya.
Modar anjing tetep
It's a
babi.
good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
104.
Instead, I
ini
spotted
sih
a ladder
ini juga dibikin
way into the
kayak
mine
si
from the
Tanjiro
opposite side.
trio ini
It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time.
masih emang
Of course, being I had
Enggak,
a problem with
itu mah
heights,
gimana
that
orangnya aja.
scaffolding scared the
Bukan spoiler.
bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution. Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes,
Yang titik dong.
no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith, which ain't easy when you're suspended between heaven and hell.
Yang titik dulu.
Ini aing harus kemana bangsat? Get out other way and find Henry Puller. Mati anjing.
kita yang tadi si Tanjiro udah nyebutin ya kenapa Hinokami Kagura itu kuat.
Diam.
Kan tadi udah disebut lagi.
Diam.
Jadi
Sama ngomong.
oh, lu mau cosplay jadi Gyu lah.
Diam dia. Ibu.
Nah, Inosuke Kagura.
Ih, anjing.
Anjing jalannya lewat mana bangsat?
Babi. Itu suka.
Babi hutan monster.
Kaget di depan mata.
Nah, ini nih, lucu parah nih.
Wah jatuh anjing.
Enggak, dia ngerusak sumpahan lah. Sebel banget. Apa dia minta tolong sih itu? Tikus.
Kayak kucing gitu.
Lu pikir kucing? Anjir. Ya, kita cing. itu anjir. Gak ada otot.
Sendinya dipindahin sama dia, dilemesin. Sebenarnya Inosuke paling pinter anjing.
Dia mulai bisa mikir tahu di arc ini.
Emang dia paling bisa ini belajar daripada si Tanjiro seperti itu.
Ya dia logikanya lebih jalan gitu.
Iya.
Dan itu sih yang parah. Dia kayak gepeng gitu kan.
Oh.
I was determined not to give up. That Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
Jangan naik yang tadi anjing.
Dia cantik.
Makanya dia suka tuh ini ada dia orang cakep.
Zenitsu warna cakep.
Emang kan dia bilang pokoknya jangan 10 terkali deh, 10 sampai kan buat si ini.
Anjing.
Ini siapa
Mana
gitu?
anjing?
Lupa.
I picked the more convenient and more dangerous route.
Hah? Bisa sendiri. Dia pernah pakai sirkup.
Yang kira loh.
Apaan?
Yang selendang ini sebenarnya cacing lain
Plummer was a
atau
mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserve better.
Itu padahal kalau misalnya si Inosuke bawa kombatrin mati langsung.
gara-gara video tuh.
You can't treat the innocent.
the sheriff of both places one time or another, but that's
Wah,
neither here nor
jatuh.
there.
Oh si Tenggen.
The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Gitu dong.
Henry Plum.
Cie.
This is gonna hurt. Well, this day is just getting worse and worse for you.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
This cocksucker is smarter than he looks. Bastard! Who said you could throw dynamite? I can shoot boom! I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out! Run! Gonna blow you into next week, boy! You are really chapping my ass! You ain't taking me! What do you think you're
Anjing.
I got a lot more dynamite than you! I can shoot boom!
Gede banget sih tadinya nih. Tenggen.
2 meter aja.
Oh iya bener. Kalian mau dipeluk.
Lucunya yang ini.
You can shoot, but can you aim?
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Lagi seru-serunya. Iya.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Mau gua terusin nggak?
Well, I heard word.
Gimana mau kita kick aja sih? Al?
Boleh.
Ayo.
Main.
Udah gitu nggak ada itunya. Oh ada. Nin.
Spek suara ya?
Apa?
Pilar suara.
I dodged
Yeah.
death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no good.
Jadi
I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on
baru
John
sih
Wesley.
Tenggen tuh kan ke ini. Beres dari situ pokoknya si Tengen tuh jadi
Belum ada lagi. Tuh forbidden.
Tengen tuh nanti beresnya Hah?
Blok.
Mak 25 ditambah
Texas Rangers got
20. Kita cari di chapter 60 nih ya.
That's what they
Punya
want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres.
25. Oh di 70.
Oh, anjir 8886.
Nah jadi
To the very same saloon we're sitting in today.
oh di 80 nan bentar nan.
Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardly was waiting for me.
Tapi lebih manis dari cewek-cewek di rumah.
Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch.
Baru lihat yang awal-awal.
He deserves that much. Don't you think so,
Gimana sih
Ben?
ini dia? Gimana sih bobonya?
John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he
Anjing buat
confessed to
udah
taking the lives of 40
di chapter 80 nih
He
gue
was a
ceritain aja.
qualified folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them. They didn't ask why I was there. They knew, as most of them were wanted as well. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome presence.
Ini kenapa pantatnya doang?
Sekarang jadi anak saya kasih mama.
Oh ya? Mama memang pengen orang abu-abu.
Pokoknya kalau si mama makan tuh, tapi si mama tuh diam di.
Ya ampun. Bleber. Bulu kalau habis paling bleber. Ini kenapa? Makanya marah mulu, heran kita.
Next episode si Tengen bakal terus si Tanjiro bakal ada sampai dia bisa terus si Tanjiro-nya
Berapa ya?
pokoknya Tanjiro-nya tuh mirip di What do you think?
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Mana keren lagi anjing next episode. Enggak deh 2 episode lagi.
Oh gitu.
Apa?
Gue belum bisa kaduruk anjing.
Chapter lagi lah. 1 episode lagi sih ini bagus lagi asik-asik.
Ya Tono namanya.
Gue yakin skipnya di sini. Jadi guys, nanti si Tanjiro berhasil.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley
Nantilah Senin gue
wasn't
nonton
just a little
dulu.
bit better.
Kayak kita langsung.
Kan keluarnya Senin.
Nih.
Before I could test my
Minggu
against
malam
Hart,
sih
however,
sebenarnya.
I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers.
Hai.
Most of these degenerates were beyond
Ada start
redemption.
laptop
John
dulu guys,
Wesley
bentar.
might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration. I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
Next di belakang aku. Digarukin di sini. Aku bosan ngomongin.
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility. I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Gun in the West.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Itu pada 13 ya?
Belum. Atau nggak tahu.
No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Anjir, gue cuma berdua.
Anjing serem banget kayak tuan tanah Gangnam bangsat.
Kayak itu, kayak Strangers from Hell.
Kan tuan tanah Gangnam.
Iya sih, ingat. Tapi ada yang Strangers from Hell.
Nih,
That man was faster than
si Ahi sama si Lia di
but
bawah
being
ternyata.
inebriated as he was, he
Iya.
didn't count his shots.
Lagi main
Now,
Valorant.
he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back at a saloon just like this one. Anybody up?
Kayaknya
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge.
Samsen.
naik.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickle the nether regions of heaven.
Jangan setan yang itu
Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony.
Jadi gini ya
The
guys ya.
slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move.
Terus udah
He
gini
led a
tuh
band
gitu
of
ya
young
guys ya.
Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
sempat spoiler tau katanya di Twitter.
Jangan dilanjut dulu dong.
They saw me before I saw them.
Ya.
Jadi kan gini ya guys. Ini
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
wait, itu pada main Fallout ya. Di sebut lagi nonton si Asta sama si Yanto.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there. I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I've got a lot of those.
Eko kun.
Apa anjing?
Apa nonton out ya gua? Ini yang
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Apa di YouTube yang ada Eko yang masih bermain.
A deep crevice
Guys,
that led
Eko
to
anting sama dia.
Seru anjing.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so
Aing
much
main
as
Tomb Raider
pure
mikir
angry
babi
cussing.
emang.
Filmnya aja mikir kayaknya.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Ini jalannya kemana deh anjing? Oh, sini. Sini. Babi.
Ini suka kawin kan?
Bodoh, bisu aja.
Terakhir ya?
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars.
Udah tetap itu aja, komisan.
Anjing. Hah, kumisan?
Komisan.
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
Oh, itu naksir deh ya?
Apakah ada senjata yang bisa di switch? Ada anjing.
Ini game Saycho aneh parah. Saycho ditembak
To be
gak
honest,
mati-mati.
I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
Kayak refleks aing.
Habis thinking aing.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to 2 Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death.
Ini bodoh, itu depan lu.
Yang mencari senjata. Jalannya kemana anjing? Sini emang bisa.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I
Aku
saw
kan aing
him.
nonton di YouTube
He
sama dia
came
lah.
to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart.
Nanti kita suku
If you do
suku
not
Apache
release it,
anjing.
it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian
Oh,
spell on
Indian.
me.
Apache Maroko. Tapi
Ya kan Apache juga Indian.
The story unfolded in my mind.
satu, dua,
You will come to this
tiga.
place
Anjing
again
udah kena.
and
Babi.
kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood.
Anjing rame parah. Babi.
Guys,
Oi,
turun duluan ya guys ya.
mana sih ya?
Mau pindah ke HP, mau rebahan.
Saya nggak mau
Kali
main
aja
Pamal
berdua.
Party.
Nanti aja. Udah jam 11, nggak boleh.
Jam 10 anjing.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But
Nggak boleh
suddenly
tidur
one
lewat
just
jam
appeared,
11, takut
kind of like a miracle.
Nah, dia siap. Ntar kita di sini.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering white water river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Babi di atas aing anjing.
Aduh, lock bantak.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up
Jadi
those
gini ya
rocks
guys
like a
ya.
mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the
Jadi
hell he was
Meruko
trying to
itu
tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch let me
ketahu aja anjing gue. Mungkin nonton aja.
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches.
100?
Dikasih jimat buat itu.
Oh, come on. Who you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Aura mukanya terlalu jahat untuk orang baru.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me.
Gojo jadi gitu anjir. Si Gojo jadi gitu.
But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Jangan-jangan ngajak kita ulang tahun tadi.
Never did find him.
Apa
Thank you,
aja?
darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown. The boys grew up in Coffeyville, so everybody knew them. The bank teller tricked them, telling them the time lock on the safe wouldn't open till 9:30. Well, that gave the locals enough time to prepare an ambush for those sons of bitches.
Dia udah sembuh sih, oh dia sakit. Dia udah bawa sakit. Iya, tapi kan dia udah sembuh kok. Tapi baru tuh. Hah? Cacingan. Hah? Ambil? Serius? Iya.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows
They had
it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it's high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. But those boys had a reputation as stone-cold killers. So the marshals took every precaution, knowing they wouldn't go easy. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait for some bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank.
Sumpah suara Saycho letik par.
Oh, Saycho ngomong.
Emang ada.
Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Minta tolong sama ini jangan-jangan.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch! Sorry, son of a bitch! You better hide!
Emang akhirnya ada
Ini
tuh.
terakhir.
Apa habis ending
Over there! That's Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. I was late to the party and Coffeeville was already up in arms. The Daltons blew up the safe and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. They still had friends in Coffeeville.
Guys, dong, mau nanya dong. Ini aku tadi main kan ya.
Ya.
Kalau main game kok nggak itu sih voice in game-nya tuh headset, suara gamenya sama orang-orangnya kalau on voice tuh kayak harus beda headset gitu.
Ada nih pengaturan di voice. Audio and voice.
No, it was the
Audio
Smiths.
voice tuh gimana?
They were cousins of
Ada
They
apa
were
sih
shooting
namanya?
at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons, which wasn't any surprise because those
Oh,
two
this is-
families have been feuding forever.
Ya.
And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Bawanya buat kamu dong.
Di sini makanya. Masuk mulu.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Bebas.
Oh, masih nggak bisa.
Itu kan ada default, ubah ke default aja coba.
Itu udah default semua.
Kalau nggak ubah ke yang headset.
Dia megang.
Headset ini kan.
Ya, dia bikin pertama.
Wah, anjing.
Itu nggak bisa.
Oh bangsat, kemana ini anjing? Modar. Mau voice in game kan?
Iya.
Iya.
Parah sih gitu kecil.
Wah, mati lagi anjing.
Dompel anjir.
Iya, Pak. Kecil. Gimana gak tahu apa-apa.
Itu kan ada apa namanya, tap to voice apa sih? Push to talk. Yang itunya matiin auto aja.
Enggak, ini suara gamenya yang nggak masuk, jadi cuman
Ya di volume
di
gamenya gedein. Kalau nggak relog.
nggak bisa.
Relog.
Udah, aku lagi matiin terus nyalain lagi.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Reeves. This is where
Mati sih bangsat.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long ride.
Wah, jatuh anjing.
Moka. Max.
Hai Dalvin.
Apaan? Call of Juarez. Aku game gratis dari Steam kemarin. Gua klaim aja.
Jangan-jangan yang dimakan itu
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit,
That happened, man.
We'll get those suckers.
it took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track them to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Kagak dengeran.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year.
Diajak.
At least you had the weather on your side.
Oh, dia nonton.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
Kemarin udah diganti ya.
It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Bury them in the swamp. Let them where they stand.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Keren dilaporin. Apakah bapaknya tidak sepenuhnya baik?
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Iya maksudnya dia nggak bunuh hewan tapi dia bunuh orang. Mungkin kalau makan juga ya.
Itu udah kayak klisinya kayak itu aja kayak emosional ketika terus.
Iya, aku bikin gitu gara-gara gitu.
Point being, I was under serious attack, and my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Nggak lihat, nggak tahu. Ini nggak difokusin.
Oh, malah sudah tidak paling
Anjing, senjata jelek bangsat.
Well, luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Jangan ngomong cuma satu doang.
Indians? They were Indians?
Kurang dong.
No.
Enggak, itu kan ada tiga.
I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So,
Guys.
where was I?
Ya.
Right.
Tadi aku cobain kalau misalnya aku connect Discord nggak keluar suaranya gamenya, cuman kalau misalnya aku keluar dari Discord ini suaranya.
Hah?
Tahu tuh kenapa.
Hah?
Jadi kalau misalnya aku lagi di Discordnya nyambung, itu ada suaranya gamenya. Tapi kalau misalnya enggak, baru suaranya masuk.
Hah? Kok aneh sih?
Nggak tahu.
Ya udah nyambung Discord aja.
Nggak kedengeran dong spek.
Di sistem, coba sistem default sistem di Windows-nya. Kan ada tuh pojok kanan bawah.
Apa itu ya?
Pojok kanan.
Iya.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Ini pojok kanan bawah. Bentar lagi main.
Breed like rabbits.
Ntar habis ini.
Or
Habis
Smiths,
misi ini.
Heimhoffers, or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking
Mati lo
about.
anjing. Babi. Motor.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch! Take that asshole out!
Pintu.
Nangis aja lah kunci itu lah.
Kau bisa nangis pingsan deh.
Itu kan nangis dia.
Somebody kill that son of a bitch!
ada bajunya kucing lagi kucing ngeselin parah. Back.
Oh iya. Orang lagi nonton.
Jelek banget.
Kan jadi bola yang awal.
Sama ini dia gitu.
Tapi kayaknya kan pakai duit lah. Berterima kasih harusnya gitu dong.
Si anjing.
Ya tertembak.
Ini dari apa lagi ya?
Cuman kayak keulang aja tau nggak? Tuh ketemu yang gede lagi di situ. Mungkin karena dia selalu lewat situ.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Oh enggak deh, udah ketemu sama
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah,
Yes, ice,
see,
ice.
but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
Kalau enggak kita mute aja, lu join Discord tapi mute aja. Bisa ini kan?
Kemarin jarang kedengeran itu kalian yang ngomong.
Enggak, kitanya di Discord di mute.
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve?
Kita di
It was a
Discord-nya di
steamboat
mute.
with a goddamn army on board.
Enggak lagi mah,
A
emang
fuselage
cuma
of
pengen
bullets
tahu
come
aja
raining down from on
caranya.
high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found.
Anjing. Segala mati, Bab.
But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw
Oke,
some
saya dulu
familiar
aja.
faces.
Anjing.
Berarti kalau misalnya dia kayak gitu, kayaknya nggak bakal kesel gue deh.
FD aja. Ini sengaja banget sih.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
A nugget somewhere near me. Ih, mati anjing.
cek.
Masih.
Tergantung ya.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Akhirnya aneh.
Nggak paham deh. Meski ganteng kali ya.
Mengapa muka bisa melihat hantu seram? Iya, ini bisa melihat hantu kecil.
Oh.
Yang lain tidak bisa melihatnya, ya itu kemampuan sih.
Hah? Lu kenapa is? Lu lemas amat sih?
Bingungnya penjaganya sih yang jadi kayak.
Bentar aku ditelepon.
Ya.
Yang itu kan, yang itu loh, yang membantuin.
Oh, yang tiga.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me, they wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a fight.
Ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
We're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway...
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
Oh, God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all. About to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Faster raw, oke. Apaan? Apaan? Bentar lagi main. Anjing.
Tes.
Kapan kucing siswir yang 6 bulan? Ah, ini si Oni yang pada ada yang ada bumbu kukunya itu.
Lihat di mana?
Ini share kucing attack.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day.
Ah, lucu banget sumpah, bocil banget pokoknya tuh.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Epic sih.
Ini kayak Pika, mukanya begini.
Nah iya, itu di save makanya gara-gara mirip Pika.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy
Itu kaki bawa aja tuh.
Thank you guys. Sudah dulu guys. Setengah 12 aja.
Oke, bye-bye.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
Kita save dulu.
Itu ini yang bawa itu kucing stray cat di rumah Swear. Bukan atas. Dia kayak exo.
Pasti.